So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said earlier, I must reaffirm that yes, we have reached the grand finale, the most awaited part of this evening. To have this conversation, first up, I'd like to invite on stage Outlook Business Editor, Ms. N Mahalakshmi, to please join me. Thank you, Mahalakshmi. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my absolute pleasure and privilege to invite on stage a woman who initially aspired to become a doctor, took up modeling just for fun, and then debuted in Bollywood with Saudagar. She is here with us this evening to take us down a beautiful memory lane and to narrate her magnificent journey. Presenting to you at WOW 2019 Bengaluru, Dil Se with the one and only Manisha Koirala.
Namaskar.
Thank you, Manisha, so much. Is this working? Okay. Thank you so much for taking the time out and being with us today. This has been a very awaited moment, and we were very excited to have you in Bangalore and had our doubts, would you really make a trip to Bangalore for this? Thank you for sparing the day.
You didn't have to struggle hard. I love Bangalore, so any excuse to come here.
Again, kudos to Bangalore, start to beginning. I mean, the response has been overwhelming. That's really touching, and we are fortunate to have you with us today this evening.
Pleasure is all mine.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So, with so many years of film career, now when you look back, can you summarize what would you think are your key accomplishments? How do you really look at your career from the place that you are in today?
Well, it's for me, my career, my time in cinema is the most precious time. I think my prime time, last 30 years, has gone into the cinema. And it's been a joyful roller coaster ride, to say the least. And I feel, I don't know about major achievement because I'm a hungry person, so I will always want more and more. But I feel coming from a non-filmy background and coming to a new city, establishing myself, probably that itself is, for me, is a huge achievement. Not a known area at all of work, but you know, getting so much of love and affection and getting accepted and getting an opportunity to show my work, I think it's a huge blessing. And I take it, the whole experience, as with a lot of gratitude, with all its flaws, with all its potholes and everything. But it's been a marvelous journey. It's been wonderful experience working in Indian film industry.
I'm not really a movie buff, but I've seen quite a few of your movies. And the characterization that stuck with me the most about you was one of vulnerability. That's what you really demonstrated to me. You're like a, you know, when I think of Manisha Koirala, it's a vulnerable person in, you know, various places, whether it's Bombay, Dil Se, Khamoshi, all of those really movies that I watched really stuck with me, and that's the characterization that I carry of you. My question to you is, the characters that you play, do they really influence you in some way? So you play a character, some 10, 20, 30% of that sticks to you and alters you as a person forever. Does that happen?
You know, this is something hugely debatable. I feel any creative person, how much of work of that creation is influenced by your own personality and how much you get affected by the characters or something that you're creating is something debatable. I also believe every individual is different. And so there are some people who don't get affected at all. There are some artists who play the really mean characters, but in their personal life, they're the most gentle people you will come across.
Right.
So really, I really don't know. But what I know is ever since my illness, I'm very conscious of the fact that I do not take on negative roles. In the sense, I would want to feel happy and positive because maybe I'm a little vulnerable, maybe I'm a little open. To protect myself, I guess. And hardcore artists will not agree with my stand because for art, for an artist, whether it's a negative, you're just telling a story.
Right.
And you should be able to portray it without any resistance or hesitation. But I'm a little apprehensive.
So now that does affect your choice of roles.
It does. It does.
Take us through how did you do it in the past? What went into your choice of roles?
See, in the past, also, I've been a person who used to ruthlessly watch movies, like a total movie buff. And for an instant, it could be really, I'm forgetting the name, but there are filmmakers who would make really hard film, but they were so well made that I would end up really admiring it. So now I think for me, I'm not able to watch much harder subjects. I would test myself by watching scary film, but now I will not watch it. So I guess I've become slightly protective towards my environment, what I feed my mind and stuff like that.
Since you're talking about then and now, tell us, can you take us through that maybe the first month when you were really diagnosed of cancer? What was that period really like? What did you go through? And thereafter, how did it really alter the way you thought about life and what you need to do in future?
It was, I think, 2012 November end, and it was shocking. Disbelief. Really, one can't imagine that you will think of everything else but cancer when you fall sick. And so I really didn't know how to react. I kept on thinking that it was misdiagnosis. And kept on hoping and thinking, so did my mom. And but when it became clear that it was late stage ovarian cancer, and it's then we started. It almost like it seemed like a dead end for me because it was a late stage. So we kind of started figuring out who's the good doctor and all that. I think for a few months, not the first month, but for a few months during surgery and during treatment, when doctors were not able to tell me if the treatment is going to work or not, the fear of relapse, the fear of, all that. So that whole time for me was the most crucial time, in the sense I had a dagger over my head, wasn't sure whether I was going to live or die. And then I started actually thinking about life and started asking question, what is life and what have I done with my life and stuff like that. And I felt, to a large extent, I had a great life, but somewhere I had lost the plot. And I started figuring out, I started really digging deep, started doing reflection, and started understanding. And during that time, I realized what a lot of people used to say, that when people were facing death, they were thinking about, oh, they wished they had done something, and time has gone, and they could not spend time with the loved ones, or they couldn't do this, or they couldn't do that. And so similar phase I was facing for a few months. And it's like, that's when it became really clear to me what is really essential and what I could do without. And so in that, things started becoming more clear. And I realized that life, my life at least, wasn't so complicated to be happy and to feel fulfilled. I didn't need too many things. I just had few basic requirements, and those were my priorities. And then there was a time where I started thinking, if I get a second chance to life, how will I live? What would I do differently? What are the things I will never do? What are the things I'll do more? All that kind of clarity I started getting. And, my life became like I had only few brackets that I need to focus on. And in those few brackets, if I could give 100 out of 100 to each bracket, I'll lead a fulfilled life. And, I started functioning from there, but you know how life is. It's like you get clarity, but you also leave it little loose, in the sense you leave it for it to evolve, leave it for it to be organic, to flow in a natural process. So, but I do function now with awareness of my priorities. What are the areas that are important to me and how I would like to live. And I really work hard. But what I also learned during my treatment is we are human beings, and yes, we are magical beings. Yes, there's a lot of potential, there's a lot of strength, there's a lot of qualities that we possess, that we can turn things around according to what we wish and desire. But there's a limitation. I mean, that's where the destiny or divine or mysticism and all these things are. So I really strive to get something, but I leave it for destiny or for divine to give it to me. Because I was doing all sorts of correct thing and the right thing to get healed. And I am healed. But there are many other people who do the right things, but they may not.
The outcome may be different.
So we should not blame them. They should not feel that they did anything less. So I say with all my humbleness that we do according to what humanly is possible, but then we leave it to the divine to do whatever is meant to be happening. If my time is limited, I must accept that with total humbleness and knowing that this is all there is.
Tell me, after this whole, when you came out of cancer, I mean, it was I presume was a very, very difficult part of your life, perhaps the most challenging part of your life. What exactly did you alter? The way you look at your personal life, the way you looked at your career, the way you looked at your relationships. Can you tell us 3 or 4 things that really made, where you made decisive, defining difference?
Yeah, a couple of things. The way I started seeing life, I started having gratitude towards this opportunity of life itself. To be born, to experience this wonderful life, to have amazing people, to get an opportunity to act, to everything that life gives. I take it as a gift. I take it as an opportunity to enjoy and to have a great experience. So that changed. Secondly, today I feel my work, my relationship with my work is like it's not stemming from anything else other than I must enjoy what I'm doing. I must, do from the space that I'm really at my peak of happiness and joy when I'm working. So I make a conscious decision of the environment that I put myself in, because filmmaking is a long process.
Right.
And so I want to work with people that I like, that I get a good sense of vibe, and I know that it's going to be a nice and joyful process. So one is that. Secondly, the characters or the roles that I play, I must enjoy. So I see things from a different perspective, not only... So in the process, I've said no to many projects. And some I regret, but then I realized it's kind of a decision I have made. And as far as quality time with my family, I was sharing with you today, and I said, I have a deep bond with my mom. But as mother-daughters, we have this, tu meme, constantly. But
I instantly related to that. The tu meme with the moms.
But the thing is, today I'm the first one to go and apologize. I'm the first one to make peace. I'm the first one to, hug her and so it's just that not carrying the baggage of hurt, resentment, learning to forgive oneself and others, living with peace. And I feel also, to me, contributing to society also matters. It's more for myself, for my own piece of this thing, because I like it. I enjoy it. If it's also stemming from the fact that when I needed people's company and guidance, there were few angels who really helped me. So I know the value of that. So I feel if I can just give a little bit of that, it's more gratifying for me. So sense of contribution is also very important now, and I do it more consciously.
That's one thing I wanted to ask you, that after going through all this, what stands out for me about you is that you have taken this cause, spreading public awareness about cancer, and your book is called The Healed, and it's truly healing when when you are in that position to get that reassurance from somebody who has overcome that stage must be really, really helpful. So what was the motivation behind that? Because as a celebrity, I don't see too many of them really coming up and talking about their own personal experiences in public, and without thinking about the stature or the position they are in.
Yeah, without really being judgmental, is that what I feel, why the reason I did it was when I was diagnosed, there weren't too many positive stories out there. So I was hungry for that. I really needed that. I needed to see if somebody has made it even after getting late stage cancer diagnosis. And one of my friend's sister had it. And when she told me that, her sister had survived 25 years and she's fine, even after a couple of relapses, she's fine, that really helped. So I had made a promise to myself that if I heal and if I come out, I'm not going to, shy away, and I will put my story out there so that other people can get hope and benefit from it. So I'm actually one of the purpose of my book is that. One of the main reason is that. Also, it's a kind of catharsis. It's a kind of, I also realize that world is really filled with good people too. I mean, we keep on criticizing, we keep on seeing the negative aspect, but during my cancer time, there were so many good wishes, there's so many blessings, there's so many things was outpouring from people that I've never met or known. So I realized that I felt comfortable to share my story. So I guess because
But
of all
that
that.
apart, you have also been pretty active with social causes related to women, on women's rights, human trafficking, and so on and so forth. So, what was the motivation behind that?
Well, I think being conscious human being a sensitive human being, and being in a position as a celebrity where probably if I say something, it'll be heard and it could impact in a positive way with the hope and faith and belief that probably I could help in a minuscule way, but I could probably be part of something. So anything related to women, I speak up. Anything related to where I feel is injustice or not this thing, I speak. Not only that, actually I've gotten into river cleaning also, cleaning, because I feel we are part of this environment and we try and keep the environment clean. So I feel whatever takes my fancy in terms of any issue, I get up and do.
You think it is a responsibility that celebrities must take, given that they have so much influence over people, that a lot of them actually take it lightly? Would you agree to that?
Yeah, I feel being a celebrity, my personal take is that every individual in the society should contribute in their own capacity anyways. And especially being a celebrity, because when you speak something, people listen to you. I feel why not to use that position for betterment, for some kind of a thought, for something better, for change. So I feel we can do a lot more than we've been doing. I agree with you.
Sure. So some quick questions. Your advice to young actors, whether it be the choices of roles that they should make, that they should make, financial planning, emotional stamina to go through the ups and downs that the industry poses. What's your advice?
Well, first of all, I would say you need to have a fire in your belly, because if you really are passionate and you're really hungry and you really want to strive, then I think first requirement for any kind of success is the strong desire, that's really, I want to achieve that, and determination and strong will and grit, So once you make up your mind, once you are, automatically what happens is you're willing to put in long hours of hard work without complaining. So, and you actually, when you spend 10 hours, it'll go like 10 minutes because you're passionate about doing what you're doing. And find your passion, find the thing that you're really, really kicked about. So then pursue that dream. Pursuing somebody else's dream is not something that I would really advise on. You find your passion. And put in the hard work. And hard work will come automatically when you love what you do. And of course, I mean, any field, but because you're constantly a public figure, you're in a emotionally high-pitched environment, you're a creative artist, there's lots of highs and lows and all that. I'm the last one to advise anybody don't, because I myself have gone like a roller coaster.
But you have the benefit of experience nevertheless, and fairly good career.
Absolutely. So I can't, I think at the bottom of it all is just enjoy what you are doing. Just love what you're doing. And don't get fazed by, potholes, don't get faced by setbacks, and be resilient, be passionate, be resilient, and I think everybody should be able to achieve.
Your favorite movie? Your own?
My favorite movie, Bombay.
Your all-time favorite movie?
Yeah, yeah. It's my all-time favorite.
Okay. And what are the films and projects that you're doing now? And is there a dream role that you have not done that you're dreaming about?
For an actor, it's forever next movie, next movie, next movie. So we are hungry. We are hungry a lot. I guess my next projects are there are few scripts which I have liked. So hopefully this year I'll be doing one or two good films. But I'm also going for Everest base camp trek. To me, that is also to me that's also a project. And I'm training really hard for that. I'm to match up with other people in the group, and I'm really excited about it.
Tell us about your training schedule, training routine these days.
Okay, one of the things which I'll tell you is I live on the 14th floor in Mumbai, and I do 5 times up and down. So with 4 kg at the back. And which I have to, in fact, hopefully get to 10 times. I don't know. But
Do we have a trekking women of worth, Sandhya? So is 14 floors up and down 5 times good enough for Everest Base Camp, more or less?
Oh, thank God.
She is the founder of India Hikes, and she was our Woman of Worth year before last.
Oh, thank God. Thank you. I'm going to be talking to you about it. Learn some tips. Yeah, so I've taken on as a challenge to just basically I'm always pushing my boundaries and trying to excel and trying to do work a little harder and not be complacent. So I'm constantly doing something or the other, and to me, each project, each thing that I'm taking on is equally important, be it film or trekking or anything. So I give myself 100% to that, and I'm enjoying life. I'm, just basically quality time with my family and my friends. This trek that I'm doing is with my school friends, my girlfriends. And so it's going to be really marvelous, bonding with my girlfriends, my school friends. And so I guess human love and bonding with family and working and being in the nature and then writing a book.
Right.
I'm pretty content.
Sure. Is there a long-term dream that is yet to be realized?
I don't really have long-term dreams. And I have 1 or 2 years, I think, and after that, let it be organic, let it, flow naturally.
Sure, inshallah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Thank
this
you.
beautiful conversation.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Shall I leave this here?